Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to discuss today, so I want to jump right into things. First off, as we know, this whole FTX debacle has really put a toll on the crypto space, and I was really personally hoping we could all put this behind us as soon as possible so we can continue to move on in the crypto industry and thrive as a whole, but it does look like there is a lot more drama underway than we really thought. So we did get some news, some good news, I guess you would say, but it's honestly really nothing in my eyes. The FBI did announce they will be extraditing SBF from the Bahamas. They will be sending him to the United States for questioning, but the sole fact that this man has not been arrested yet by any government agency, I think, is pretty insane and speaks volumes. There has been a lot of information coming out over the past couple days in regards to politicians, Ukraine, and really just the United States government being involved in FTX with money laundering, and it seems like it's more so the Democratic Party. Now, I don't want to get into politics too much, left, right, I really don't want to bother with that, but really just focus on what appears to be the facts. It appears that when the United States has been sending funds over to Ukraine for the war effort, that Ukraine was utilizing FTX to funnel some of that money back into the Democratic Party. And as we know, SBF is the second largest donor in the Democratic Party. And he is in close ties with Washington. We know his mother is the lawyer for Hillary Clinton, and now we know his father actually wrote a book on tax evasion and was also recently working with Elizabeth Warren to pass a bill that would pretty much scrutinize the cryptocurrency industry and bring extreme regulation to the crypto space, mainly focusing on DeFi. This was all happening behind the scenes while SBF was running FTX. And to think that SBF didn't know about all this is pretty foolish for anyone to think. We do know that that is a big reason CZ of Binance decided to cut ties with FTX, because he did find out that SBF was actually lobbying in Washington to pass scrutinizing regulation in regards to DeFi in the crypto space, and really make it so that the crypto space is regulated left, right, and center, and it could even become illegal to send cryptocurrency peer-to-peer in the United States, which honestly would just completely destroy the industry if something like that passed. So we don't have definitive information on that whole debacle right now, but another thing that goes to show that something really is going on is the fact that SBF has had a couple interviews with major news organizations, mainstream media, one being MSNBC, and they threw him insane softball questions all over the place. I mean, really just making SBF look like a victim in this whole scandal. I mean, SBF literally stole $10 billion from its users, and the mainstream media was making it like it's not a big deal. This got so extreme that even Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, came out and called out this lunacy, that SBF is a criminal, and all of this mainstream media is treating it like this isn't a big deal and like he's a victim in all of this. So it does seem like there is some strong narrative going on when it comes to FTX and their ties with the Democratic Party. So we're gonna have to wait a couple days for any further developments, but I think this could be the story of the decade, honestly. Like, that is how crazy all this is. I mean, it's pretty obvious that the FTX collapse was the worst thing that ever happened to the crypto space at scale. And I hate to say, but I don't think it's close to over. This gets even crazier that SBF actually went on to Twitter the other day, and he tweeted out what happened, with every letter of happened as a separate tweet. So everyone in the crypto space is like, bro, what are you doing? Like, you just stole from so many people and you're treating it like a joke. Like, what is going on with you? He went on to talk about some of his plans that he would like to do moving forward. And he went on to discuss how he wants to make right by investors, which might be the case, but he went on to discuss, in order to make right by investors, he's going to have to, get this, raise capital to make right by investors. And in theory, yes, I guess that makes sense, but why on earth would we let a criminal like him raise capital from innocent people again? Or even if it was institutions or whatever, why would anyone want to be involved with this scumbag? So I thought that was pretty crazy, and we're gonna have to see if anything comes out of that. But as of right now, SBF is being extradited into the United States from the Bahamas for questioning by the FBI. But I still think it's crazy that this guy is not in handcuffs. Next, I do want to discuss Gemini Exchange. As we know, FTX has caused mayhem in the space with all exchanges, and because of this, a lot of people are skeptical about other exchanges and if they are liquid. Well, today, Gemini Exchange announced that they had to halt withdrawals, which of course got a lot of people concerned about if Gemini Exchange is also going under. But they did just recently put out a statement that the reason for the halting of withdrawals is because their Amazon Web Service servers went down. So that should be fixed by the end of the day, hopefully. But I do not blame anyone that wants to hold their funds on a cold storage wallet or a software wallet. Not having your funds on an exchange right now, there is nothing wrong with that at all, and I do not blame you one bit. But when it comes to Gemini Exchange, that appears to be the reason they halted withdrawals today. Next up, FTX hacker. This is something I haven't discussed on the channel yet, but FTX also, in their whole collapse, got hacked for pretty much all their holdings. I believe it was almost around $400 million. And FTX didn't really even bother putting out any statements. It seems like Sam Bankman-Fried doesn't even really care. A lot of people thought it was obviously pretty suspicious that they got hacked when they did. Maybe Sam hacked the funds through a back door and stole all the funds and is on the run because obviously his net worth has collapsed to pretty much zero. So we don't technically know who stole the funds. Another exchange, I believe OKX or Kraken, one of those two, supposedly knows the identity of the hacker, but we really don't know the truth as of now. But why I'm bringing this up is the FTX hacker has been selling the majority of Ethereum-based funds on Uniswap and is now the 36th largest Ethereum token holder, Ethereum coin holder in the world, which is pretty insane. This is, of course, getting a lot of people concerned that there is a criminal on the loose with this much in Ethereum. Could this much Ethereum, really cause issues to the market? That sort of stuff, but we don't really know. As of now, it looks like they're just selling everything into Ethereum, and then they're just going to be sitting on that maybe. So that is that. Two things before the end of this video. The next thing is Russia and Ukraine and that whole debacle. Yesterday, a Russian missile, I should say, hit Poland and killed 2 people. This is a insane deal, because as we know, or if you don't know, Poland is a NATO member, right? So if Poland gets hit by Russia, they can potentially, all of NATO could potentially enact Article 5, which an attack on one is an attack on all. But it does appear that over the past day that the United States and Poland and all the other countries involved in NATO have done their investigations, and it does appear that the missile that struck Poland was a Ukrainian missile. So if that is the case, we won't have World War III, which is great news. But it is quite scary to see how quickly things can escalate, because if that truly was a Russian missile and it struck Poland intentionally, killing 2 citizens, which is a huge deal, that is definitely the way World War III can commence, or at least give NATO a definitive reason to send troops into Ukraine. So it looks like, as of now, World War III is on pause, but of course, you know, anything can happen in these next couple months moving forward. Lastly, I do want to emphasize the World Cup that's coming up. The Soccer World Cup in Qatar is, I think, going to be a really big deal for Crypto.com. I talked about it a little bit in last video, but Crypto.com is the main crypto sponsor, the only crypto sponsor for the FIFA World Cup. And as we know, the FIFA World Cup has about 5 billion people watching it every single year. So with Crypto.com having their logo plastered all over the place, I think this is definitely a huge opportunity for Crypto.com to get some serious exposure and maybe bump that 70 million users up a little bit. I don't know if they're planning any campaign when it comes to giving out CRO or you know, stuff for fans or anything like that. But overall, I would just pay attention to what's to come over the next 4 days with Crypto.com, more specifically the CRO coin. And there's also a couple other cryptocurrencies that are involved in soccer, but not to the extent that Crypto.com is this year with this World Cup. So be on the lookout for all the signs with Crypto.com at the World Cup, because I think it is seriously going to be chilling to see how far we've come over the past, 4 years with Crypto.com. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's all I have for you guys today. I would love to know your thoughts down below, what you think of this style of video where I just get in the car. I am actually driving somewhere. I'm not driving around town for no reason. But I would like to know your thoughts on this style of video. It's a little more casual. It's me just talking without a script or anything like that. So yeah, thank you guys as always for watching, and I'll catch you in the next.